The order of operations is a convention used in mathematics to make sense of how an expression is written, to decide in which order to apply the operations included in that expression, so that if you and I both evaluate this expression, we'll both get the same answer. To use the order of operations, the first thing that we'll look for are the locations of any quantities surrounded in parentheses. In this example, the fraction 3/4 is surrounded with parentheses, so we're going to focus on if there's anything to do inside those parentheses first. In this example, the quantity inside the parentheses, 3/4, is already completely simplified. So there's nothing I can really do with what's on the inside of the parentheses, and we can move on to the next step in the order of operations. After parentheses come exponents. If there are any exponents in the problem, we should deal with them next. In this example, 3/4 is being raised to an exponent of 2, which is the same thing as multiplying 3/4 by itself. Because of how we know to multiply fractions, we can multiply 3/4 by 3/4 by multiplying straight across. 3 times 3 to give us 9, and 4 times 4 to give us 16. So 3/4 to the second power is 9/16. That completes all of the exponents in this problem. And putting the rest of the arithmetic back into context, the next thing we'll look for is the opportunity to either multiply or divide. If there are multiple opportunities to do so, we'll do them in order from left to right. In this example, there's only the one multiplication happening between the 1/3 and the 9/16, so we have to do that before we do any other operations. Again, because of how we know to multiply fractions, we can multiply 1/3 by 9/16 by multiplying straight across in the numerator 1 times 9 to give me 9, and in the denominator 3 times 16 to give me 48. Reducing that fraction into its lowest terms involves dividing the numerator and denominator by 3 and arriving at 3/16, completing the multiplication step in the evaluation of this expression according to the order of operations. Finally, once all of the multiplication and the division in our expression has been completed, we finally look for any addition and subtraction, again, proceeding from left to right if there are multiple opportunities to do so. 6 minus 3/16 we can do by subtracting the fraction 6/1 minus 3/16, by first finding a common denominator, multiplying 1 and 16 to give us 16, balancing the numerators to get 6/1 to equal 96/16, and 3/16 remaining the same, and then subtracting in the numerator 96 minus 3 to give us 93/16. So to evaluate this expression using the order of operations, we first worried about whether there was anything inside the parentheses that could be made simpler. In this example, there was not. So we moved on to the next step and evaluated any expression with exponents. 3/4 to the second power gave us 9/16. All of the exponents having been completed, we then looked for any multiplication or division, doing those operations from left to right. That required us to multiply 1/3 by 9/16 to give us 3/16. Finally, we did any addition or subtraction from left to right. Here we had to subtract 6 minus 3/16, which required us to find a common denominator for those two rational numbers of 16, and then subtract the numerators after they had been balanced, giving us the fraction 93/16 as our answer.